Welcome to DebConf 24, and we are happy to have you here with your talk to ensure the openness and fairness of the internet.
Thank you for having me.
Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, nice to meet you. I hope you are enjoying this, South Korea's scorching and suffocating weather. How are you enjoying? Yes, nice to meet you. Busan is very famous for its food, so I also hope you also can enjoy the real K-food. So I am KYOUNGMI Oh from Openness Korea. You can call me Kimi. Yes, Openness Korea, working as a researcher at Openness Korea. Okay, sorry about this. Yeah, my talk today is going to be about our organization, Openness Korea, where I work. Thank you for having me, DebConf team. Okay, so move to the slide. Next slide. So Openness Korea was founded in January 2013 as a digital human rights organization in South Korea. Let's start with this image. So this image is about our organization's mission and vision. So our mission at Openness Korea is to establish social principles and norms that remain unwavering despite changes in administration or political ideology. To achieve this, Openness aims to protect internet space, enabling social movements and amplifying social voices in support of these principles and norms. And to fulfill our mission and vision, Openness Korea is set the following goals. Uphold and protect the philosophy of free and open internet, and preserve a public sphere where citizens, government, and corporations can collaborate. Prevent government authority from infringing on human rights. Increase government transparency and protect the principle of net neutrality. Since our establishment, we have diversified our activities to achieve these goals as strategies through strategic litigation, including public interest litigation, and legislative activities or blocking legislation, or lobbying politicians, or public campaigns, research, educating publics, and forming solidarities with CEOs, both domestically and internationally. Under these frameworks, Openness Korea mainly focuses on freedom of expression. Freedom of expression is the principle of digital human rights. The previously mentioned mission, vision, goal, and strategies are all aimed at achieving the ultimate purpose of safeguarding freedom of expression. Human rights, including digital rights, cannot be guaranteed without freedom of expression. Injustices that violate human rights, such as gender discrimination or racial discrimination, and human rights abuses committed by states, corporations, the group that have power, or individuals, cannot be known if these crimes or violations are not disseminated or disclosed. Without freedom of expression, improvements and changes to these injustices cannot be achieved. The internet has revolutionized the way information and knowledge are accumulated and shared. Before the development of internet, information was distributed and controlled by a few who monopolized the media capable of delivering messages. Only when freedom of expression is guaranteed can abusing power and violence be monitored, thus adhering to principles that are not swayed by political beliefs, ideologies, or changes in regimes is our mission, and protecting the internet space where expression can be amplified has become our vision. As you can easily guess, we represent and protect social minorities, including women, people with disabilities, and sexual minorities, and journalists, and whistleblowers, artists, etc. And sometimes we try to protect cybersecurity experts. So I'm sorry. I don't know why it keeps turning on. Okay. So let's deeper dive into what we've done and what we've achieved with specific activities. The first topic is public interest litigation. OpenNet is a civil society organization that started with public interest litigation. South Korea is one of the few countries that made internet popularization possible in the shortest period globally. By the early 2000s, internet shopping had already become the new norm in South Korea, and from the early 20s, the way news was consumed began transitioning from paper newspapers to electronic newspapers. So internet portals like Kakao, Naver, you've heard about, also started to provide a public sphere to their users for knowledge sharing and criticizing government policies at that moment. As soon as the 2000s began, there were attempts to legislate to control internet size and content by governments. In 2003, discussions on introducing an internet real name law began, starting with the then ruling Grand National Party, citing the need to control malicious content, defamation, and the spread of false information. In 2006, the internet real name law was passed with the agreement of both ruling party. So through amendment to the Act on Promotion of Information and Communications Network Utilization and Information Protection. Openness was established in 2013 by a coalition of civil society organizations and academics and internet-related companies who were concerned that internet real name law violated citizens' freedom of expression. Their collaborative efforts contributed to the Constitutional Court's ruling on unconstitutionality in 2012. Following the victory, the core members of the coalition decided to formally create OpenNet. So public interest litigation remains one of our crucial strategies to protect freedom of expression. South Korea is one of the few countries with a government censorship body. The Korean Communications Standard Commission regulates not only information that is clearly illegal, but also contents that is likely to significantly undermine public morals or social norms. As a result, government regulation on internet content is a common practice in South Korea. While the government claims that the purpose of this regulation is to protect society, it often makes socially vulnerable groups even more so vulnerable. Let me explain more about KCSC. So the KCSC was established under Article 19 of the Act on the Establishment and Operation of Korea Communications Commission, which is to regulate traditional media. The KCSC is taking down the internet contents under Article 19, Provision 7 of the Enforcement of Decree of the Act on Promotion of Information and Communications Network Utilization and Information Protection, and Article 21, Provision 4 of the Act on the Establishment and Operation of Korea Communications Commission. A more problematic point of this regulation is that not only individual internet users, but also government institutions can ask to take down the content. So most government institutions such as Ministry of Food and Drugs and Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, or National Intelligence Service, and even the police, so can address complaints about the certain contents and request to take down it. Plus, the KCSC can also remove the content itself as well. So it means that contents taking down decisions are easily affected by political ideology. Among the public interest lawsuit filed by Openness, the most notable is the one challenging the KCSC's decision to block access to North Korea tech. I don't know why. I added some images on the North Korea tech suit case, but it disappeared. I don't know why. I'm sorry. So the North Korea tech, specializing in North Korean IT technology information run by British artist Martin Williams. The KCSC has cited the website's alleged praise and glorification of North Korea in violation of the National Security Act. We filed a lawsuit against the KCSC, so we won. And in the morning, on the train for Busan, I've searched it again, North Korea tech site. Yeah, still I can, get access to that. So these are the reasons why we call the KCSC the government censorship body and keep filing strategic litigations against it. However, these efforts do not always succeed. So this is the latest public interest litigation, which supports women on web site blocking by KCSC. On December 13, 2020, the KCSC issued a ruling to block Women on Web's website that provides information on women's health, sexual and reproductive rights, and medical abortion, and thereby helps women to obtain safe, timely, and affordable abortion care. This ruling followed a similar ruling that was issued on March 11, 2019. Okay, in 2019, South Korea's Constitutional Court decriminalized abortion. Before then, getting abortion was criminal in South Korea. Although abortion has been completely decriminalized in country since 2021, the government has failed to approve or introduce the medicine for medical abortion, which WHO has clearly stated that medical abortion can be safely self-managed at home up to the 12th week when information and support from healthcare providers are available without specialized medical care or direct supervision. So that means South Korean women in need of abortion have been caught in the legal vacuum. So we filed a lawsuit, but we failed both the first and second trial. The court justified the KCSC's decision to shut down the website to block the distribution of medical abortion pills, supposedly because such a distribution is threatening women's safety. However, this ruling is making women more vulnerable because they are now forced to pay high costs for surgery, which is the only option for abortion. So the court regarded a surgery as same option as taking abortion pills. So we are now preparing for the last trials and the constitutional challenge as well. In between the first trial and second trial, we also did a campaign with Women on Web. We published several announcements to criticize the court's decision and also did a petition. So over 400 people signed on it, and a woman left a short but impressive comment with signing that she could survive because the pills from Women on Web. So let's move on to the next topic. Openness is also dedicated to creating a fair internet environment. Notably, we have prevented the passage of the network usage fee bill. We should have legally mandated charges for internet network usage. Since the early 2010s, South Korean telecommunication companies have been striving to extract more profit from the platforms. This was because most households already had internet access, making it difficult for telcos to further increase their total corporate profit. So the telcos lobbied politicians and lawmakers, leading to the 2015 amendment of the Notice on Interconnection Standard for Telecommunication Facilities, namely the standard pay rule, which took effect in 2016. The standard pay rule requires telcos to pay for the amount of traffic they generate between themselves, but the telco charges the cost to their customers' platforms. The standard pay rule changes the direct interconnection relationship between major network operators. We have three major telcos, KT, SKT, LGU+. This standard pay rule changes direct interconnection relationship from a no settlement arrangement to one based on the volume of outgoing traffic. So this created new settlement costs within the domestic internet network ecosystem. As a result, since 2016, internet access fees in Seoul have skyrocketed, becoming 5 to 6 times more expensive than in the United States, and 8 times more than in London and Paris, and 10 times more than in Frankfurt, according to telegeography data. Consequently, many startups and content providers have already left South Korea. More recently, Twitch withdrew their business from the Korean market. In 2022, National Assembly proposed a network usage fee bill that would extend the toll previously applicable only between network operators directly to content providers. The National Assembly claims that the network usage fee bill will be applied only large platforms. However, the majority of contents on these large platforms is provided by individuals or small or medium-sized content providers. Once the bill passes, contrary to the Assembly's intent or expectation, everyone will ultimately be trapped under the network usage fee system. According to the proposed bill, if large platforms host popular content, network operators will have to charge fees proportional to the content's popularity. This means that popular contents can no longer be hosted for free. Platforms will have to either charge viewers or people uploading the contents. Existing paid platforms will have no choice but to charge higher fees specifically for Korean users. And there will be fewer popular contents posting for Koreans to enjoy. Imagine that if all the countries in the world pass the network usage fee, the internet that connects the world will no longer be internet. So DISCO, which stands for Disruptive Competition, a project operated by CCIA, a non-profit organization based in Brussels, Belgium, has assessed that the current situation in South Korea starkly reveals the disadvantages of implementing metered rates. Yeah, so the passage of the network usage fee bill clearly violates principle of net neutrality, which states that everyone should have equal access to internet. The erosion of net neutrality principles will stifle freedom of expression and severely hinder the value of philosophy of internet. So which is the free flow of information. Not only popular contents, but also critical writings about government will not be circulated. Criticisms of the government need to go viral, but if they do, additional usage fees will be charged. So activities of CSOs cannot upload their contents to the internet. So OpenNet was the only civic organizations in the country that strongly opposed the passage of the bill in 2022, advocating for the protection of net neutrality principles. The organizations, we attended a parliamentary forum to explain the structure of internet access and harmful effects that would arise if the network usage fee bill were passed. So we published several announcements to educate public and form public opinion, and built international solidarity, and had nearly 300,000 people participated in our petition. So usually we regard successfully. In South Korea, civic petition is usually considered successful with about 300 people. So it's more than 1,000 times. So we successfully blocked the passage of the bill. Yeah. So, and let's move on another topic. Yeah, OpenNet is continuously expanding its areas of activities and topics. Now we are forming alliance with Southeast Asia countries to resist state violence. The Southeast Asia Collaborative Policy Network, namely CCPN, is a network of CSOs in Southeast Asia countries that aims to promote internet freedom by developing capacity of CSOs to engage and have a dialogue with ICT companies, governments, and akin. So while the internet, including social media and other applications, has been beneficial to many in the region, rights violations have also been observed and reported. While big tech is doing platformization and increased datafication, governments try to limit the big tech and suppress internet users through regulatory frameworks. On the part of governments, some have pursued new rules for internet users and tech companies on access to the internet, content, and data over the past years. In the context of region, we must not forget that many of these countries were authoritarian and increased authoritarian in the old days, and some still are until now. As big tech is doing, their things, government try to limit the big tech and to suppress the users. So CCPN has called on tech companies to report rights violations on platforms and for these companies to be more transparent. Since the establishment of the network, there have been some engagement and dialogues between and among CSOs and ICT companies. Additionally, this year, we are planning a new project in collaboration with data activists. First, we are considering participation in making Asia Parliamentary Transparency Survey with over 10 Asian countries. Second, data digging and analysis of elderly women's lives in Korean rural areas with data activists, including software engineers and developers, to disclose the lives of unmarried or widowed elderly women in South Korea rural areas that had been rarely focused on, even in feminism. So if you find Openness activity interesting and sees potential for meaningful collaboration in our work or need help, please feel free to reach out to us first. I have to wrap up here. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Are you okay?
Thank you for the presentation. Thanks for the presentation. Are there any questions in the room?
Yes, the internet tolls, are they payable to the government?
What?
The tolls for the internet traffic.
Internet traffic?
The tolls, are they payable to the government?
It's not mandate, and I told you that center pay rule, they, interconnection between telcos. So it's not pay for the government, it's pay for, customers and service providers.
Okay, so I mean, so the money goes to the service providers then for the
yes,
for the traffic,
not the government.
for the carriage of traffic. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
All right.
Let me check briefly IRC. There's apparently no question on IRC as well. So thanks for your presentation again, and let's give an applause to Kim Chi.
Okay, thank you very much.